Hey guys, welcome to the channel. In this video I'm going to be making LED halo rings for a Polaris Slingshot. I've seen them around on different cars and setups. I personally just bought a Slingshot, so I think I'm going to put some on mine. When I priced them, they were like $300 something, which I think is very overpriced for essentially what you're getting. So stay tuned in this video and we'll figure out just how expensive they are to make them and if they're really that hard to make. Okay, so here's my Slingshot. And what we got to do to start off to make the ring that's going to go around that is start off by measuring. So I took off my rim already and measured from my caliper all the way to the edge right there. And for me, that ended up being 14 inches. Okay, so we're back in the garage. And I've got the formulas here that I'm going to use to figure out the circumference on the circle or ring that we're making. So we've got this right here is my little drawing. It's like my rotor, and the diameter is 14 right there. So I will use this right here, diameter times pi equals circumference. So take 14, which is my diameter, times 3.14, which is pi, and that gave me 43.96. So I'm going to go ahead and round that up to 44 inches total, just to make it an easy even number. And I want about an inch of overlap whenever I connect the ring together. So I'm shooting for 45 inches total of material. So we'll come over here, and I've got this stuff I bought at Lowe's, and it's pretty thin aluminum. I think it'll be real easy to bend. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some scrap wood that I have, and I'm going to take it and I'm going to build the circle 14 inches in diameter, and then I'm going to attempt to kind of hammer it around that circle and form it. I'm sure there's better ways of doing it. You can go get a metal roller. I don't have one. I'm doing it in my garage on a budget. So stay tuned and we'll see if it works. Okay guys, so I'm back. What I did was I drew my circle in the scrap, and how I did that was I measured from the edge here to the center right there, and then from the edge here to there, so I knew that I had the exact center of the board, 7 inches by 7 inches. And from that point I took a 7-inch string and held one end there, and then put a pencil right there on the edge and just drew it around like that. Oops, sorry, like that, so I could get the angle of it, okay? And if it isn't completely perfect, it'll be fine. We're just stretching the metal across it, and we'll finesse things and make it look better once we get the actual shape we're looking for. And I've got my jigsaw here, so all I'm going to do is just cut around it, and I'll show you kind of how I do it. Okay guys, so now that we've gotten the circle done, I'm going to go ahead and cut this little piece of aluminum here. In case y'all were wondering, it's a 1/16 by 1 inch by 6 foot, and I'm going to cut it out at 45 inches. So now I've got it marked there, I'll just make a cut and I will be right back. Alright, now that we're back, I'm just going to take this little cheap Harbor Freight metal punch, and I'm just going to mark somewhere right around in here. Doesn't really matter, just as long as it's somewhere in the middle, because this is ultimately what I'm going to use to one, screw it down to that little piece of wood that we made and bend it around it, but I'm also going to use it to drill through and use rivets at the end to attach it and make it into a circle. So I'll just make sure it's all below that 1 inch mark. Okay, so this little black mark is where the 1 inch mark is, which is where I'm going to make it overlap. So anything on the back side of that, I can put another hole. let's see. Got 2 holes right there and there. We can put screws in and hopefully bend it around the wood. See if I can move the camera a little bit. So what we're going to do is just try to put it in the end of that, try to get it lined up in the center. I'm going to go ahead and just kind of pre-drill a hole right here in the edge of this. And that'll at least get us started. Like I said earlier, there's a better way to do it if you had a metal roller, but this is just a little weekend project in the garage. I wanted to see if it's even possible. So, let's see if it bends around it. Oh yeah. See guys, been around and we have about that inch right there of overlap. So what I'm going to do now is take a rubber hammer or a ball peen hammer and just kind of beat it around it and see if I can get it to take hold of the shape. I kind of try to describe exactly what I did. So we got the circle and we drilled a hole in the end of the ring, and then a hole right here in the end of this. I started off with a 7/64 bit on both of them. And I just screwed one in right there, and then I bent it around it to help kind of form the shape. I didn't want it, I knew it wouldn't stay completely formed, so you can see in the video I fumbled with it and all that. But once I got the general shape that I wanted to and I got the bends, I went ahead and overlapped it, because the whole metal piece here is 45 inches and the diameter was, sorry, not the diameter, the circumference was 44. So there's that 1 inch overlap, which is where I joined the two of them together. So anyways, once I did that, I clamped the ends together with that where it overlapped, where my mark was, and kind of pre-drilled 2 little holes there, just enough to scratch the surface, opened it back up, laid it flat, and then drilled out the other 2 holes where they needed to be. Then once I did that, I went ahead and grabbed a 1/8 drill bit and drilled out all 4 holes, because there's 2 on this end and 2 on this end, and then lined them up and took 1/8 rivets. Kind of show you what the package looks like right there. So those are 1/8 rivets that I used to put it in a rivet gun. For those of you who have never done that, I'll kind of show you. They'll look like, see right there, they'll look like that. So take the long end, take the long end to insert it in there. And it'll go in all the way. I'm not going to push this one in all the way, but it'll go in all the way to that. So once that's in there, I lined up my holes where I needed them to be, and then just squeeze the crap out of it, and it rivets them together. So this is 1/16 thick, so it's not really thick. I wanted it thin enough to where I could bend it around, which is I think what I achieved, and it's a decent circle. So I mean, it's fairly sturdy. To me, it looks like everything else that's out on the market that I've seen videos, and it only cost me $10 for this piece right here, and I had the rivets laying around in my garage. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to build the brackets. So I'm going to take my wheel off the Slingshot again, and I'll kind of hold it up, mock it up, and I'll prefab the brackets to hold it on, and I'll videotape that and show y'all.